I'm coming home. Tell AW, I'm coming. Welcome back, guys. It is the first All Elite Wrestling Dynamite show since Tony Khan's meltdown, which has kind of grabbed the wrestling world by the scruff of the neck and given it a shake and woken up a bit. Decent start to 2024 in terms of news, but was it a decent start to this show? Because we kick off our Dynamite coverage with Claudio Castagnoli taking on Hangman Adam Page. This match didn't do anything for me in here. I'm not gonna pretend that this match could ever do anything for me, but Claudio Cesaro, whatever you want to call him, this guy is not up to much, to say the least. He's really, really not. This Blackpool Combat Club, it's not even much of a thing now these days. But I think AEW is just a mess. You've got these three different shows, and like some members of factions appear on this show, some members of factions appear on other shows. There's just not really an awful lot happening across the brand. But Page hits him with a Hurricane Rana, then he hits two buckshot lariats, 1, 2, 3. Hangman Adam Page wins. And considering what the main event scene is going to be like with Hangman Adam Page in there, he's never going to lose this match, right? Never, ever, ever. We then have an 8-man tag team match. We've got Lance Archer with Jake Roberts, Brian Cage, and the Gates of Agony, which consists of Tio Lana, Bishop Coon, taking on Preston Vance with Jose the Assistant, Orange Cassidy, Dustin Rhodes, and Adam Copeland. Just look at the neck of this match. You know, it's a who's of jobbers. And then at the very end, you've got Dustin Rhodes and Edge. And I don't know, like Edge's name being Adam Copeland, it'll never ever sit right with me. Never ever sit right with me. But here, that's what it is. Copeland wins. You know, Vance Archer hits the discus lariat. 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. Bob's your uncle. Adam Copeland, Orange Cassidy, Dustin Rhodes, and Preston Vance are your victories. And here, won't be Victor, sorry, it won't be the only multi-person match tonight because there's a few on AEW Dynamite. Backstage, though, we do have the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass are talking to Jay White and the Gun Club that they all have the same common enemy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, eh? And it says we should be the ones holding all the gold. We don't need to be friends or hang out. We can be the Bang Gang, Scissor Gang, Super Faction. Then Jay White's like, you know what? We need some time to think about this. The Bang Gang, Scissor Gang, Super Faction. The Bang Gang, Scissor Gang, Super Faction. I mean, honestly, what is this? A gangbang? I've no idea what this is all about. You know, an absolute disaster. Right, we then have the segment with Samoa Joe. He gets in the ring. He says, "Right, we're making some he says, "You're making some changes to the championship challenging protocol." He says, "You've no longer to make who-ass comments on social media," which I thought was funny. MJF sucks, man. You know what? This actually feels fresh. He's seen Samoa Joe being the top dog in AEW. He said someone else hold the belt. I mean, it feels that fresh. I'm yawning about it, but at the end of the day, that's what's happening. He comes out. It's like, you bring your record, you bring your reputation. We'll submit it to the championship committee. If you're deemed worthy, you'll get an express pass to walk that aisle, get in this ring, and have me stomp your ass out in front of everybody. Out comes Swerve Strickland, Brian Cage, the Gates of Agony, and Prince Nana. This jobber faction that's doing nothing for me. Strickland says, "Joe, it ain't a personal thing. I just want the AEW Championship, and I'm going to take it. However, after I take that title from you and you choose to make this a personal thing between you and me, I'll be more happy to." And as he's like mid-speaking, out comes Hangman Adam Page. Page says, "I will win the AEW Championship in 2024. Strickland then like leaves the ring with his band of jobbers, and then like Samoa Joe is like smirking in the corner. Hangman Adam Page pretty much has to take a back seat at this point because Hook makes his way out to the ring, and I'm sorry, right? See Hook? He's a jobber. Hook is an absolute jobber. And it ain't because of this Jinder Mahal beef. The guy looks like he looks like a child, man. He looks like a boy. Like, you know, I've buried, you know, like Adam Cole, all the like the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, right? And you know what? They are absolute jobbers. Make no mistake about it. They are they are jobbers. But and even some of them that are out of shape, I just look at Hook, and he doesn't look like a man. He doesn't look like a wrestler. And yeah, I get it. Most of these guys don't. But I look at him, I'm like, wait, is this guy like 14, 15? You know, he honestly looks like he's in his teens. Can't take him as a serious threat. He gets in Samoa Joe's face here, and I was like, what's Joe going to do? Eat him? I mean, honestly, it was just really, really weird. And this was like your main event segment. So obviously, we're getting Joe against Hook next week. Are we setting up a Hangman Page Swerve Strickland triple threat match potentially? Maybe we'll go down that road. Then go backstage, got Maria May asking Toni Storm if she saw her match, and then Toni Storm's like, I didn't see a single frame, darling. Renee Paquette told Toni Storm that Deonna Purrazzo made her debut, and she said she's come for your title. Then Storm told Liver to set up a meeting with her and Purrazzo. So boom, there you go. We then have Ricky Starks taking on Sammy Guevara. Don't know what's happening to Ricky Starks. 6 months ago, the guy was being booked incredibly strong. Fast forward, not too long later, the guy's being treated like a jobber. And here he is, losing to Sammy Guevara. Don't know if is this because Guevara's best pals with him. I'm not too sure. After the match, they shook hands, but then Big Bill attacked Guevara from behind, started kicking him with Starks. Then Jericho got in the ring. He hit them both with a bat. Jericho gave Bill the code breaker as Starks and Guevara battled outside the ring. So, end of segment, we've got this tag team going forward. Who really cares at this stage? So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I did promise you though there would be another tag team match. We've got Thunder Rosa, Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, Anna Jay taking on Saraya, Ruby Soho, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue. There was an absolutely awful spot in this match where they actually teamed up with the wrong people. There was like a 8-person suplex, but the heels and faces were mixed up, and it didn't even make sense what they were doing. It's just a bunch of jobbers. Sky Blue taps out. Anna Jay got her in the Queen Slayer. Thunder Rosa, Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, and Anna Jay win. Brilliant. We then have a pre-taped segment where Wheeler Yuta challenges Eddie Kingston to a match on Rampage. I'm falling asleep talking about this show. So fucking boring. And talking of boring, Roderick Strong beats Brian Keith. And I talked about this the other time, man. Not that long ago. It's like, look at the names we grew up watching in wrestling. The Undertaker, John Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, Razor Ramon, Big Daddy Cool Diesel, Hulk Hogan, Brian Keith. That his name is so bad. It's not even funny. It's not even funny how bad his name is. Like, honestly, it's an absolute catastrophe how bad this guy's. I mean, Brian Keith, man. Who are we trying to kid? Who are we honestly trying to kid? Brian Keith, man. It sounds like a takeaway delivery driver. It doesn't even sound like a serious name. After the match, Adam Cole said, like, cuts a promo. Honestly, it was so boring. He's just like, yeah, Strong, he's the best wrestler in the world today. He should have the AEW International Championship. Taven Bennett are the greatest ROH tag champions of all time. Hell, they've even got the belts. And now Wardlow is people who will respect him. We will win the AEW Championship. It's like, what? What are we doing here? Racing a ping pong. What are we doing? Honestly, I just don't understand what we're doing with Adam Cole, bye-bye. Because I'll tell you what, Adam Cole, bye-bye, he absolutely sucks. This faction with him sitting in the ring doesn't do hee-haw for me. Sitting in the ring with his wee broken wing, talking absolute rubbish. It's absolutely jobber, to be honest. It's absolutely catastrophe. Absolutely. It's a disaster. It's a catastrophe. It's a disaster. Anyway, let's move on. Deonna Purrazzo cuts a promo backstage talking about how she's got her sights on the AEW's Women's Championship. Do we care? Not really. Moving on. Right, main event time. Main event. Well, Red 5 at Deonna Purrazzo are going to collide, right? We've got Sting and Darby Allin in a tag team match. Your tornado tag team match. There's no rules. There's crazy spots in this match. And to be honest, there's a million things that are actually wrong with this that I need to talk about because, by God, it was bad. Now let's just start off with Ric Flair. The guy is far too old, right? I love Ric Flair, even though, he comes out and says some shit about his daughter being the greatest of all time, and, that's a pretty unforgivable comment, but at the end of the day, it's the nature boy. It's Ric Flair, guys. It's Ric Flair. The guy has done so much in this wrestling business. He's great, but at the same time, what is going on? He gets in the ring. He's slapping it. He's doing chops. He's doing finger pokes. He can barely get out the ring, and it's like, this guy's done. Like, it's 2024. Like, time moves on. It's scary to think how slow he is now, and I get it. He's like 74. Probably, I tell you what, he'll be like near 75 now, Ric Flair. And it just shows you, like, time waits for no one. It's scary. It's honestly scary. Just watching people age in front of your very eyes. Like, the guy's done. But here, you know what? If he wants to be there for, like, Sting's retirement run, then fair play. But end of the day, it is kind of sad seeing the current state of affairs in AEW with this spot in the match with what do you call him? What do you call it? Right, Powerhouse Hobbs and Takeshita, but they're like swinging Darby Allin, and then they do a big swing, let go. He twirls through the air, almost snaps his neck on the bottom rope, and it's like, what's the need of that? Honestly, I think the spot is like a cool spot, but like, do it better. Don't do it where you throw him onto the rope, because if he lands on all his weight on the back of his neck on that bottom rope, I mean that which almost happened. Like, it's not like we're making up these crazy scenarios. I mean, it fucking happened pretty quickly, to be honest. Absolute disaster, that spot. And then they're brawling. Darby Allin does a massive coffin drop up the top of the bleachers. I mean, again, this was a wee bit... I don't understand the coffin drop, to be honest. Sting and Powerhouse Hobbs are then brawling across the stage, so to speak. Looks like Powerhouse Hobbs is going to do a power slam off the stage on Sting, but then Sting counters it, does a scorpion death drop off the stage, concusses himself, hits his head off the ground. It's like, could this main event have went any worse? But that gets the victory for Sting and Darby Allin. Tony Schiavone then asks Sting, who's your opponent going to be at Revolution? Sting goes to answer, but then the Young Bucks came out and the show came to an end, and no one really cared about the Young Bucks, if we're being perfectly honest. Just came out, and it's like, that's who Sting's last match is going to be, the Young Bucks. Guy deserves a singles match. He deserves like a world title match. Like, honestly, why not build? Like, see if you're gonna throw Swerve Strickland, right, and Hangman Adam Page in a match against Joe probably at Revolution. Why not throw Sting in and make it a fatal 4-way? Obviously, right, you don't want to do a one-on-one match because, he can't really go, right? I appreciate that. I get that. Even though he can go to a decent level, I'm not denying that. But to the people who say, well, retirement matches, you're not going to do a fatal 4-way retirement match. Well, you're doing a 2-on-2 retirement match, so why can't you just do a fatal 4-way for the belt, throw Sting in, instead of a match against the Young Bucks that just no one fucking cares about? Ridiculous. Anyway, guys, I'm going to give you this episode of Dynamite a 1 out of 10. Garbage. Sorry for yawning throughout it, but fucking hell, I was wrecked talking about this pish.